It makes him up.
Oh, and Manders says enough of that.
Juice has roots in this organization dating back to 2009. I do believe he started on the bottom, doing dark matches, on film matches, and he worked his way up, and he's wrestled the likes of MJF and Ethan Page and Michael Elgin, and he beat Eddie Kingston here. That says a lot. He wrestled Samurai Del Sol here. Zero Gravity, that's how far back Juice Robinson goes in this organization. Hell, once upon a time in 2009, it was Juice Robinson and Mike Sydal in a dark match. Look how far both men have come.
Ah, you're like the encyclopedia of AAW over here, Joe.
Hey, I'm like the modern day Mike Tenay, but Manders, he's a modern day a lot of people. He's a little bit of Dr. Death, he's a little bit of Stan Hansen, but he's a lot of badass, that's for sure.
And most importantly to him, he's a lot of Manders. While he does take certain elements from the kings of all Japan wrestling past, one thing Manders has done, has carved himself out, has made himself the very best that he can be on a daily basis.
And you know this means so much to Manders because of what we talked about, the fact that SGC, the second gear crew, that alliance between Manders, Mance, and Justice, at one point, each of them had a championship in AAW. Now none of them do. I've never seen SGC with their backs against the wall like this, not in a dominant position.
1000%. It's, you got to remember though, there's nobody else from SGC here tonight. The only representative of the second gear crew here in AAW right now, here tonight at Destination Chicago, is the one called Manders.
And he's more than enough to hold down the fort on more often than not. But when you factor in Juice Robinson and all the success he's had, the Impact Tag Championships, the IWGP US Tag Team Championships, the partnership with David Finlay, who's as tough as they come.
Fin Juice.
Absolutely.
Slam there by Juice Robinson. Ever eccentric, ever the entertainer.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's been a man that I've seen in quite some time that's made more for professional wrestling than Juice Robinson.
I feel like I want to call that the Uncle Slam and tribute to the Patriot, maybe. I think Juice would appreciate that.
Oh, and a standing senton.
Great elevation, great hang time in the middle of the air. And to those fans who maybe haven't followed Juice's international exploits, he's a little tough to define, tough to put your finger on, but he's got that magnetism where he owns the room every time he walks in, and he's so tough to scout for.
And it's not just, the flamboyancy, the here to have a good time. When it comes down to it, Juice Robinson can flat out wrestle. He can flat out strike. This is a man that broke Kevin Owens' nose. One palm strike.
I think Juice, in a lot of ways, is a lot like a Colt Cabana. Yes. Somebody that can go any style, any mood, any tone, and sometimes you just take a look at him from afar, and he's got you beat before the bell rings. You just don't know how to counteract what Juice Robinson does.
Headbutt there from the one called Manders on Juice Robinson.
And Manders has never been one to be a showman. He's not about style points. He's about just roughneck scrapping and wrestling and fighting. I don't think he's encountered anybody like Juice Robinson in any of his random weeknight bar fights.
Manders now calling for, going into that three-point stance.
And is he going to get, a huge head of steam.
This is an interesting time to run the 40-yard dash. Oh, runs right into that back elbow of Juice Robinson, and now a headbutt from the flamboyant Juice.
Now, was that an example of Manders off his game thanks to Robinson?
Oh my God!
That's not something Manders would normally do, but that's something he would do, completely deconstruct the guardrail with another human's body. When Manders is pushing the official, when Manders is in your face and not letting back and just physical as all hell, he's almost unstoppable. I think Manders played Juice's game for a moment and paid for it, but what an adjustment on the fly.
And this, you got to talk about, of course, earlier this year, Manders almost became the AAW champion.
Yeah.
Beautiful swing of the hips in that power slam. Textbook, picture perfect, and Juice Robinson out at 2, says referee Dan Perch.
And keep in mind how Manders was a target for a number of weeks of people trying to send a message to Mance Warner, like the current champion Fred Yehai. Manders was attacked from all sides, whether it was Yehai, whether it was Infamy, whether it was his own battles or his brother's battles. But he's still standing, and he's still ready to fight again.
Still standing, still fighting, still doing everything that he can. gain the upper hand here on Juice Robinson. Oh, and Juice.
Juice, as we mentioned, from Joliet, Illinois, nearby. Trained once upon a time by Truth Martini, an AAW legend.
Spent a lot of time at that House of Truth up in Michigan.
Are you surprised to see Juice hang with Manders, strike for strike?
You know, I'm not. I mean, like I said, stylistically, you know, you look at a guy like Juice Robinson, you look at the tights, you look at the hair, and it's been this way since day one. I've known Juice Robinson for 10 years. It's been this way for 10 years. Everybody looks at him, they always underestimate him. They're like, oh, he's just here to have a good time, he's just here to have fun. One thing Juice Robinson can do is throw the heavy lumber. This guy's well built.
Nice
Beautiful
spine buster. Very great form, great technique. I noticed a moment ago, Manders went for a Dr. Bomb. Robinson had a death grip on that thick thigh of Manders, would not let Manders use that power. Robinson kept this thing on the mat, and it paid off. He cannot outpower Manders, in my opinion, but he is outstriking him. Robinson always likes to color outside the line, so to speak, and so far it's working in a way that maybe some people, maybe myself, didn't think would be possible.
And Juice Robinson feeding off the crowd here at the Logan Square Auditorium. Oh! Shouts out to Arn Anderson.
Manders went defense, and I think Robinson baited him in, knew it was coming, had the DDT ready. Beautiful snap by Juice Robinson.
Juice Robinson saying anything you can do, I can do better. Lunging in with that clothesline, and now Manders fading fast as Juice full steam ahead. Cannonball into the corner.
Could this be all? 2 count only. I gotta believe that Yehai and Alexander are watching this matchup. Whoever is victorious could certainly be in the crosshairs of the champion and in that championship picture. We know Manders is focused. He was practicing for this matchup at the shooting range, out on the range a couple of weeks ago. So Manders is in a different kind of mindset. This could be Pulp Friction, but Manders counters.
Oh, and a lariat takes Juice Robinson off his feet. Manders looking to make the victory here. No!
Juice had that faraway look in his eyes, but he had enough wherewithal to know when Perch's hand was coming down for the third toll, and at the last possible second, Juice shows life, but how much is left from here?
And one thing that would have been interesting to note there, this international popularity that Juice Robinson has. If Manders were to pick up that victory, that could get Manders exactly where he wants to go. Not just here in AAW, but everybody that knows the one called Manders knows that the biggest dream he has in his wrestling career is to find himself in Japan.
Absolutely, and this will make headlines in Japan if Manders is victorious, I guarantee you.
Oh, eats a leg lariat as he was looking for that Iowa Stampede.
But think about the headlines here locally. If Robinson gets the win in his first appearance in 3 years at AAW, Manders fights out.
The brutality that Manders has given here on Juice Robinson has paid dividends. Gut wrench, Dr. Bomb there.
Got it that time.
Oh, and Perch says 2. Juice kicking out at the absolute last instinct.
The tenacity of Manders pays off. He wanted the Dr. Bomb. It took him a long walk to get there, but he got the Dr. Bomb. But what does this match, what has it taken out of both men, and what do they have left? You said referee's discretion earlier, Tyler. Imagine if this is a double count out. If Perch calls it, there's no one can continue.
I think that's referee Dan Perch looking out for both athletes' better well-being. Live to fight another day.
That's true, but you know that neither man in this ring will take that lightly. Manders motioning for the corner. Could he be thinking Stampede? Could he be thinking a high risk? Well, I think we're looking at that Iowa Hawkeye Stampede.
Into the buckles. And now down into the mat, that Iowa Stampede. Manders hooks the leg. Manders getting the W. Oh, Juice out at the last second.
And you got to wonder what that does to the psyche of Manders. He moved it, has put away 95% or more of his opponents. Not enough for Robinson, and Manders has taken a big-time chance.
Manders heading all the way up top. Stopping, though. No, and he's
Wait, no.
The tag champs, infamy. Build shots to both sides of the head.
They got to Manders before Manders could get to them, like he did Roosman.
Oh, and there's that palm strike.
And the Black and the Brave.
Underhooks in. Pulp Friction.
I don't know if Robinson saw that. I don't think Robinson's aware. But the result is the same regardless.
9 minutes, 58 seconds. Your winner, the 5 points, Juice Robinson.
And Joesa and Robin Steele, very instrumental. Those